Let's see. All right, what's up, Burnout to Badass group members, superstars? What's happening? It is 2019, and we are rocking in the new year. And this is officially our first appearance in the odd year, the 2019.
Yeah, this is. Is this our first live?
This is our first appearance, and we held off. We held off kind of on purpose. There's a lot going on the first 10 to 15 days of January. You're recovering from Christmas, the holidays. I know just the detox part of it can wear people out right there. Then you have the reality reentry. It's like, oh crap, I got to go back to work, or the kids have got to go back to school, or there's no traffic today. How come I'm on the road? How come I'm not sleeping in again? Where's the mint chocolate covered pretzels? Those things are really good, And you're like, no. I need to Whole30. I need to cut out gluten. I need to cut out dairy. I need to cut out food. I'm just not going to eat for 30 days. Let's just get right to the point. Let's just stop eating, and I'll think about water. And then I'm just going to walk. I'm just going to walk and drink water for 30 days. That's all I'm going to do. And it's so funny how resolutions have gotten to that point, right?
Yeah.
And so today, guys, we are bringing you, and we thought this would be the great way to end our series, but start the new year in our series, The 7 Steps to End Burnout, Anxiety, and Fatigue. And this is number 7, hold your feet to the fire. And why did we wait to release this in the new year and to really discuss this? And I think it's because, Elia, what I've been noticing with New Year's resolutions is that less and less people are actually making them anymore. Right?
Yeah. I mean, I feel there's like a hesitancy. A lot of people are like, I kind of want to make this resolution, but I don't really want to tell anybody I'm making it in case I, can't keep it. And, we really wanted to start with this at the new year, because not only is holding your feet to the fire, which we're going to explain more about what that means in a minute, a way to help you stop burnout, but it's also a really important key to helping you keep your resolutions and really start off the 2009 year really powerfully, because it's really about taking accountability and deciding who it is that you really want to be. Right.
Now, for those who are just chiming in, I see someone just posted a message here. First-time listener, they've got the audio book, Elia.
Oh, awesome.
Yep. They're listening.
Awesome.
Looks like she's listening to it with her husband. That's pretty cool.
That's awesome.
So This person, let's see if I get this right. This person right here does most of the reading.
Yes.
If you love the Burnout Beast, he's around here somewhere.
That's Adam.
No. Well, no, you got to point the other way.
Oh.
There you go. Yeah. Remember, everything's kind of crazy weird. Anyways, my name is Adam Von Enns, and I work side by side with the beautiful and absolutely brilliantly just kick-ass Elia Fosheron, who is the author of Burnout to Badass, as well as the founder of Move, Think, Smile. And if this is your first time picking up on one of our live episodes, we'd like to dive deep into topics about how to turn anxiety and fatigue and all that crazy stuff out there that's burning you out and you don't even know it into peak performance. And we mean peak performance. We don't necessarily mean like Olympic style athlete, although that's pretty cool if you can get there. We're really talking about just how to feel alive again, right? Mm-hmm. How to start having kick-ass adventures. How to feel alive again, how to start having kick-ass adventures, how to, peak performance at work. It's like, so, because so many people, and we experience this, like we came from a really big business background that was super, super sexy. Like we had an action sports business with the kiteboarding and surfing. In fact, where's it at? There it is. Red Bull was one of our biggest sponsors, and this is my detached garage, and this is where a lot of Red Bull athletes stayed, and it was really cool. But we burned out one of the coolest businesses on the planet, and it was such a drastic bombshell that dropped on us, that it took us years to bounce out of it. I mean, first of all, it took us, we dealt with it. We tried to power through it for 7 years, 5 to 7 years. And then when it hit hard. It hit so hard. And our mission is to make sure that you don't find yourself waking up with your head bleeding because your face just smacked the concrete because you just passed out at work because you're dealing with fatigue and anxiety because you're burning out from all the stress that's going on in your job or all the tension that's going on at home, right?
And the crazy thing we talk a lot about too is that, a lot of times people have this idea of what burnout means. Like it means that you don't like your job or you don't like your clients or you don't like this or that. And, I feel like we're a perfect example of we loved our business. We thought, there were so many cool people involved in it. Like Adam said, we were doing things outdoors. It was amazing. And yet we still managed to burn out. And so really looking at, it makes me think of one of the most powerful quotes that was said to me when I was feeling so terrible, which was, in order to burn out, you first have to have a burning passion, meaning that people who burn out stretch themselves too thin. A lot of times they're driven. They don't know how to kind of really manage their passion. And so a lot of times it can get out of control and they can start to spiral down and start to realize like, thinking that they have to change everything outside of them to fix things. And this is where hold your feet to the fire comes in, which is really taking a look at what your part in this story is. And we're going to talk a lot about today in this little section of how it's so easy to blame things in our outside world for how we feel, right? And it's even easier to spot people doing it to somebody else or something, but it's tough to see it happening within us. Like, oh, I don't blame people. I'm not that kind of person. I don't blame people.
Yeah, I don't do it either.
We're all doing it.
Yeah, right.
We're all doing it, whether we vocalize it or not. And so what we want to really challenge you today is ask yourself, again, to hold your own feet to the fire and ask yourself, who and what are you blaming for the situation in your life right now?
Exactly. So when we hit the rock bottom of burnout, and guys, you do not want to be there. And if you are there right now, just stay tuned to this episode because I think you're going to really find it. But if you're experiencing any type of questioning, I thought it was going to be better when I got to this point in my life. If you ever ask yourself that, this is a great episode. You're going to love it. So what most people don't realize, and Elliot was kind of talking about this, and that is you're facing a bed of hot coals and you don't even know it, right? Mm-hmm. So you are, if you're like I've got my own stories and tales to tell. If you're going and you're trying to make a business work, like we were business owners, right? So we were professionals, we were executives, and we were business owners all in the same time. We each wore 25 hats. At one time, we had 23 people working in our company. But we ended up letting all of them go, and Ella and I just completely took over. And so when you're manufacturing with another business called retail, right, that's open all the time because I've got this mindset that you've got to sell. You're talking about 80 to 90 hours a week consistently over a period of years. Now, we were healthy, fit people. I kind of came from a rock and roll background, so I really knew how to have a lot of fun, and I burned the candle at both ends. And going into the surf industry for us, it was play really hard all day and do all that physical stuff that makes you strong and healthy, but then, Red Bull it out at night. And, I wasn't paying attention to the warning signs. I was getting tired. I was definitely less than pleasant to talk to a lot of times, even with Elia, and she can vouch for that, I'm sure. And I was sitting there like I had custody of my kids, but I was watching them go through high school and growing up without me, and they were living in my house or our house, right? And I was like, and I had this thing going in my head that, and I was ignoring the signs. I was completely ignoring the signs, I was just like, oh, I'm not burning out. It's just tired, man. I'll just go change my protein shake, or maybe I'll start drinking more greens. I was like, okay, I'll stop eating so many potato chips. Those were my solutions. Yeah. Those were my solutions. And this is the third burnout that I hit. The first one I hit in 2000, when it caused my divorce, which could have completely been avoided. I'm glad it didn't because I got to meet Elia. And then I hit another one actually, right before I met Elia, which caused me to move out of a city where I was making really good money at a really young age. But I hated the city. I hated where I was. And so I completely botched out. I'm like, okay, I'll just change my careers. I'll take a huge 75% pay cut and I'll come down to a city I like, which is Charleston, South Carolina, and I still love this city, but it didn't fix things. And started up the business, met Elia, we got things rolling, we kicked ass for 12, 13 years, and then, those last 5 years, we were facing a bed of hot coals, and we just didn't even know it. So Elia, kind of take us into what happens when you're facing a bed of hot coals and you don't do anything.
Well, a lot of times what happens is you end up in the blame game, which I talked about before. It's like we see this bed of hot coals in front of us. We blame it on our business. We blame it on the economy. We blame it on a bad, if you're working for someone, a bad boss, or if you have a partner, bad partner, no one is behaving correctly. There's all of these obstacles that you're having to conquer. And so you can easily, because it's a human instinct, it's kind of our first instinct, because when we're under stress, our fight or flight kicks in. And to me, blame is a form of fighting. It's a form of pushing away. It's a form of like saying, this is not me, this is you. Mm-hmm. Or we flight, which is basically, I don't see what's happening. I'm just going to like cover my eyes. Or I'm going to sugarcoat things, right? So it's like, it's not really that bad. It's okay. I'm making it. I'm surviving. And, for me, I was really good at sugarcoating. And I kind of got to this point where I really realized I'm freaking tired of sugarcoating this. Like, this needs to change.
Oh, great example of sugarcoating. So when I first burned out, my second burnout, after I got divorced, moved to 5 states away, got a new job, making great money, hated it, gained so much. I hit 245 pounds. Mm-hmm. And I sugarcoat it going by, well, that guy's 275, so I don't have it that bad.
Yeah.
It caused a lot of physical problems, right?
Yeah.
It caused a lot of first of all, it sucked my energy away being that heavy. And I got that heavy because I was drinking, stress eating, and doing a lot of things that I knew I shouldn't be doing, but I just couldn't stop because I didn't know how to fix things. So yeah. I just want to say, yeah, I know what sugarcoating's like.
Yeah, sugarcoating. And then you also can have the instance where, you're really hoping that you might be able to just sort of go around it, or sort of, again, these other little sly ways we try to ignore things. And, I think the one way that something needs to shift, and maybe you're not letting yourself see the bigger picture, but that is that secretly, like in those quiet moments, you just know that you feel. The best way I could describe it is you just feel like your foundation is about to crumble. You don't feel solid in your body, in your thinking, in your life. Everything just feels like it's teetering. And we hear a lot of different ways people express this. They say things like, I feel like I was just barely treading water. I felt like I was about to crumble. I felt fried. I felt overcooked. I felt, overwhelmed. I felt, like...
some people, yeah, and some people like, and you got to understand, like, burnout doesn't necessarily mean disaster.
Yeah.
One thing one thing people don't understand is a lot of people think burnout is an end result. It's like something that happens to somebody when they really overwork themselves. Mm-hmm. And if you've read the book, or if you really understand burnout is a process of decay. Yeah. Burnout is a process of decay. And there are so many levels at it. And some people, right, who are burned out but don't feel like they're burned out, if you're waking up on autopilot and you get excited because instead of going to Costco, you're going to Aldi's, right? Yeah. That's a bland life. Yeah. That's a bland life. So we're talking about how to feel alive again. So.
And here's the other crazy thing, another indication, like you were just saying, Adam, but this is, we've realized when we look at the stats, 3 out of 4 working people are headed to the doctors because they are dealing with some sort of pain or illness or something that they can't figure out what's going on. So they go to the doctors because they don't feel well, they're fatigued, all of this stuff. And they're trying to find, that help. And the thing is, people kind of sit there and they're going, okay, I can't drive because I feel dizzy all the time. And now I feel like I've lost my independence. So what's up with that? Like weird things like this. Another thing that I hear and I actually experience, which is I'm so overwhelmed that I can't handle going to the grocery store. Like I go to the grocery store and I just want to leave instantly. It freaks me out. Like I got to get out of here. It's too much stimulation. And so these are all little warning signs that you are not looking at the bed of hot coals that is facing you. You're not looking at the fire that's brewing in your life. That again, like Adam said, there's levels of burnout, and that fire, if you keep ignoring it, if you don't, notice what's happening, it is going to get bigger and bigger and bigger until you see something like some of our clients have experienced where they think, oh my gosh, I think I'm having a heart attack, which they believe comes out of nowhere. They go to the emergency room and they're told, you're having a panic attack. You need to manage your stress. And they're shocked. They're shocked because they don't believe that their stress is that high, because they've gotten so used to such a high level of stress. And so again, it's really important that you understand that thinking that this, that, they, them would just change, sugarcoating your experience, ignoring what's happening is not going to get the job done.
So Elia, let's go real quick, going back to facing a bed of hot coals, right? So you're facing a bed of hot coals if you're getting nowhere fast, right? Or if you're waking up without ambition, motivation, or excitement for what's going on in your life, right? If you, as someone in our program told me yesterday, it's like, before I met you guys, like I had no frigging goals. I had no frigging goals.
Yeah.
And it's like we had to peel back the onion to help him find his true north and what he really wanted to get into. And now I think he's really going to rock it. It's pretty cool. And, if you're, Elia and I both experience this, you're tired, but you're wired, right? You're exhausted, but you just can't go to sleep because you got to get this stuff done. Or if you're waking up in the middle of the night worrying about stuff, right? And things are plaguing your mind. Or instead of sleeping in the morning, like you wake up at 4:30 and then that's you're awake, you're done. That's all the sleep you're getting. 4, maybe 3 hours if you're lucky, And if you're having trouble connecting with your family because you just can't unplug, right? Like I had that problem. I seriously had that problem. I could not unplug and I was working so much. Then yes, there's a good example, there's a great possibility that, you're going to be headed to the doctors. I mean, it's a statistical fact that doctors visits, 75% of them, 3 out of 4 people, it's related to stress, specifically anxiety, fatigue, and burnout. And that's one away from everyone.
Yeah. And the other crazy thing, which is, we talk a lot about the symptoms of this and it can feel a little bit doom and gloom, but the crazy thing is for a lot of the illnesses that stress is linked to triggering, which again, burnout is simply chronic levels of high stress over a long period of time. So stress is linked to things like cirrhosis of the liver because people end up drinking more, suicide, heart disease,
lung ailments because they're smoking,
lung ailments. And what they found, though, is as people change their lifestyles, as they get the kind of the insidiousness of stress, get their stress levels under control, and really start living the life that they love and start, spending more time outside, having the adventures, really increasing their fun factor, that diseases and illnesses start to reverse. They start to revert. So there is a huge correlation between the level of stress that you're feeling, burnout, anxiety, and fatigue are all within that, and how your body is feeling physically. And that's a really important thing to notice because, again, as people who are driven and work a lot, you're probably going to have the instinct to be like, stomach, headache, body, just be quiet. I need to work. I need to get this done. Just stop hurting. Stop doing this. Let me just take some more painkillers.
Yeah. And that's definitely not the way to do it. And, when you really know that you're having an issue with burnout, whether it be anxiety, I was more anger. I wasn't really anxious. I was just mad. I was pissed off. I had a lot of rage and I just couldn't figure anything out. And I just wanted to feel like all the effort that I was putting in was going to reward me back somehow. I just never felt like it was there. It's like I kept putting in time. It's like I'm putting in my time. I'm working harder and putting in my time. When am I going to get that payout? And just never did.
Yeah.
Again, it's because we were doing it the wrong way. And that's because we were facing a bed of hot coals, right, Elia? And I think we were both, and you know, the question you need to ask yourself is, are you blaming this, that, or them for your problems? So if you're facing an issue right now with anxiety or you're feeling exhausted, are you blaming somebody? Or are you blaming a situation? Or are you blaming an obstacle that's come up in your path? You know, do you wish if you had a better boss, a better job, or a better partner, things would just improve?
Yep.
Right?
Yep. Absolutely. That's what we were saying. And what we really realize is that the thing that's causing your challenges is actually you. At this point, you are your greatest obstacle because, you know, again, you're the one that is not seeing the hot coals. You're not facing it. You're ignoring it. You're trying to go around it, or you're sugarcoating it. And the thing is, we can't fix anything until we admit we have a problem. And I know you've probably heard that before, but it's so simple, but it's actually so true. I didn't realize where I was and how much I needed to fix things until things got really bad. And then I realized I have to admit that there's something wrong here and I need to fix it. And for me, my greatest obstacle was me and sugarcoating everything and not asking for more of what I really wanted in life, and not, you know, I was settling for crap.
Yep.
For crap existence, as far as just my stress levels mentally and physically, and not taking care of myself how I really needed to. And so this is why we say you really must hold your feet to the fire, and you've really got to make this change all about you. You're not going to be able to change the outside world, right? You're not going to get everybody to behave how you want them to.
Now, guys, before you dive deep into that, Elliot, this is we forgot to warn people.
Oh, yeah. Tell them the warning.
We forgot to warn people, and you know the truth will set you free. But first, it's going to piss you off. Mm-hmm. Okay? And that truth is, as Elliot said, the thing that's causing all of your problems, the thing that's causing your anxiety, the thing that's causing the fatigue, the thing that's causing you to burn out, it's you. Mm-hmm. You are your greatest obstacle. And if you want to turn all this burnout into a badass life, you've got to hold your feet to the fire.
Yep. No matter how, bad you think things are, I mean, you really just have to claim it. You have to claim it because, again, like I said, I think we all have this pie in the sky notion that, we can expend so much energy trying to fix the outside world, trying to get people to behave correctly, trying to get our businesses to behave, trying to get our children to behave. And it has to start with us because, again, no one is going to behave how you want. They're not going to make it easy for you. So it's an inside-out job, not an outside-in job. And so there's a couple ways that you do this. So it's kind of like, okay, how do I do this? How do I really make this all about me? How do I really make this change? And so we're going to talk about those three things. Before we get there, Adam, do you have anything else to add before we share the three ways?
Yeah, I mean, I think people need to understand that, like, seriously, this is no joke. Like, if you want to move boldly past the stressful obstacles that are in your path right now, and if you seriously want life to start firing on all cylinders, right? And it sounds kind of woo-woo-ish or whatever, but if you really want to just wake up excited with energy and confidence, right? Whether you're waking up dreading mornings or you're just waking up on autopilot and you're just not excited for life. You have to stop waiting for things to change.
Yeah.
You have to stop blaming others. You have to stop blaming obstacles, and you got to hold your feet to the fire. Right? And Ellie's got a really good, kind of like a three steps, right? Mm-hmm. On what you've got to do to hold your feet to the fire. What does this include?
Yeah, so step number 1 is to just get honest with the state of your life right now. You've got to do that. You've really got to get honest. Stop sugarcoating. Now, I know a lot of people who are optimistic and have a generally positive attitude won't want to do this because your positivity is what's gotten you through in life. And I'm not saying that you shouldn't look on the bright side. But again, you've really got to be able to get honest and decide that you're worth more than what you're putting up with. And a lot of times we're putting up with bad behavior from ourselves. bad thinking within ourselves. And this is a big key too for making sure that your resolutions or your goals or whatever you want to call it for 2019 are going to come into place, because you've got to be really honest about what it is that you need and what it is that you're facing. Because if you are thinking, oh, I just want to lose, 50 pounds by the end of January, right? You really got to be honest about how long that's going to take and if that's going to be a healthy option or not. And if that's, what is that going to get you? So again, just being really honest, look at the facts. You don't have to get extremely emotional about everything, but look at the facts.
Right. You got like this is the part we're talking about. You can't ignore it. Most people do. Right. Get honest. Take a deep look at your life and say, what in my life is not working? What in my life did I plan on having by this point, or did I expect to have that I'm not getting?
Yeah.
Right? Mm-hmm. Because every damn one of you who's watching this and every person on this planet is born to be a badass, to have massive impact. No one was put here to fail. Right? You were put here to make the world a better place. And as someone I like to follow says a lot, God doesn't make junk, and he didn't start with you.
Yeah.
He didn't start with me. He didn't start with Elia or she or God, the universe, whatever. We're just going to use that. Doesn't make junk, and they didn't start with any of us, right? So don't accept defeat, right? This is not it. If you're accepting defeat, you need to get out of the group. Mm-hmm. This is not a place for defeatists. This is a place for, yes, you got knocked down. Yes, the strategy you're using wasn't working. Yes, the stress relief and the stress management tactics, look at them. Are they really helping you? Yeah, sure, they might provide some relief eventually, but are they really fixing the problems? And my guess is probably not.
Yeah.
So what's number 2? So you got to get honest with yourself, and then you've got to what?
So number 2 is just accepting full responsibility for your life at this moment. Now, again, this might seem simple. It might seem trite. It might seem, oh, yeah, okay, I got to take responsibility. But really think about this, okay? I've actually had to ask myself this plenty of times. And accepting full responsibility, again, that's really giving you your power back. That's giving your power back from all the things that you've been blaming for your stress or for throwing you off your game. It's really just accepting 100% responsibility for it and where you are now, because now you can say, okay, I'm the one in charge. Mm-hmm. I'm the leader here, and this is how I'm going to move forward.
Yeah, accepting full response, and that's a tough one, man, because that means you can't blame anything.
Yeah.
That means no one else is responsible for how you feel. And that is true. We are the only creature on the planet that has dominion of free will. Like, we can actually choose what it is we want to do, right? Mm-hmm. We can choose to live in a different place. We can choose to have a different career. We can choose what clothes we wear. We can choose what haircut we have. Mm-hmm. We can choose what bathroom we want to use, right? There's nothing really forcing us to do anything, especially in America and a lot of the other countries and a lot of the, top countries out there. And it's amazing how many people forget that they feel like they're being controlled. And that's what happens. Yeah. And when you don't accept full responsibility, there's all kinds of psychological crap like the ego we could talk about. But what ends up happening is you let the obstacles in your life control you, right? That's when the anxiety comes in, the overwhelm, the anger, the resentment, the regret, the guilt, the blame. And it's because you're not taking full responsibility. And even if you are, it's like, yes, I am responsible for my life. But then what's happening is you're making bold moves in the wrong direction. And that's a topic for a whole nother episode that we'll get into next week. But we watch so many people make bold moves in the wrong direction. And move, think, smile, right? It's about moving boldly. It's about putting your health first, because it's like printing money. but it's really about making bold moves in the right direction. And we see so many executives, business owners, and professionals who make badass bold moves with lots of courage and lots of bravery in the wrong direction, and it benches them.
Yeah. Not connected to their priorities in the right way, and that definitely is a whole nother topic, and we'll do a live on that one actually. Yeah. But it also is kind of a good segue into the third piece, which is being 100% accountable for what happens moving forward. Now, accountability is huge, and you usually can't do this by yourself because you'll let yourself off the hook, or you'll let yourself just like change your goals and all this kind of stuff. So really it's like, okay, I'm 100%, accountable for this, and I need to figure out how can I really keep myself supported and moving in the right direction. Because now, like we said in step number 2, you're really taking leadership. You're becoming a captain of your own life. And in step number 3, it's like, all right, now anything that happens from here on out, it's on me. Right? And you stop the blame game, because again, that's such a slippery slope. And if you do it, okay, cool, great. But notice as quickly as you can when you've done it and get back on track.
Yeah,
that's those 3 steps.
Well, number 3 is really that's another it's a hard one, right? It's like take accountability, be 100% accountable for what happens to you. Like Ellie and I don't choose what happens to us. I don't know if anybody's mastered that power yet. Maybe some enlightened monk, but...
Sorry, I thought I was going to sneeze.
But Ellie and I don't choose what happens to us, but we do choose how we react. And it's a skill. It's not something you're born with. And if you're thinking back, well, I was just born this way. No, that's not how it works. Yes, we are predisposed to certain wiring, but it's typically decades and decades, 30, 40, 50 years, if you're, in the 40s like we are, and you're dealing with stuff and you have habits and you know that you don't want to be doing these things. You know you shouldn't be doing certain things and you wish you were doing certain other things. And if you're dealing with anxiety and fatigue, it's probably because you've been taught the wrong way, right? Most people are taught how to cope with things, right? They're not taught how to conquer things. We're always taught, it's like, okay, well, you need more stress management. Your bosses, your friends, your family, your colleagues say, oh, yeah, just go get a therapeutic massage because, that'll help with the tension. That's why therapeutic massage is a freaking $13 billion industry. And guess what? Even though it's growing 11% a year, that whole stress relief industry, guess what's growing faster, Elia?
Burnout.
How much is burnout growing a year?
13% annually.
13%. Something is not right there. Guys, something is just not right. Why is the epidemic of stress, burnout, anxiety, fatigue, how is that growing faster than the stress relief industry? Because the stress relief industry doesn't work. Sure, it can provide relief in a short-term situation. Yeah, absolutely.
Short-term solution.
Short-term situation. Had a bad couple days. Go get a massage. Cool, right? Or maybe a bad week. But if you're talking about weeks or months of dealing with the same bullshit, right? Get honest with your life, people. Get honest where you're at right now and don't accept that.
Yeah.
It's time to say no. And then you've got to take responsibility for it. And then you've got to be 100% accountable and you've got to do something with it.
Yeah. And that's like Adam said, it is tough. It is hard. Especially when you've worked so hard for something and you just think like, why would I do this to myself? And of course you weren't choosing to do that, but things happened. Things happened to you. And again, you're finding yourself in this space of feeling burnt out and anxious and fatigued. And so really we just, again, you guys, we want you to take away from this that it's really important. Number 7 in how to stop your burnout is really just holding your feet to the fire, getting honest about what's going on in your life right now, not sugarcoating and realizing that you can't ignore it, you can't go around it. Like you need to really, take a look at what is right in front of you that's hot, that's burning you out. And we really want to encourage you guys to post any questions that you have, or anything that we've said that really hit home for you, post that in the comments, whether you're watching it now or watching it later.
Right. Or feel free, guys, if you guys got like a sensitive issue and you just don't want to be out there in public talking about all the crazy shit happening in your life right now, feel free to private message us. Elia Fosheron right there, and Adam Von Ens here, and feel free. I mean, you post comments in here. This is a private group. We only let people into the group who we feel are real people with real problems who want to turn those problems into something really cool, right?
Yeah.
Who want to conquer those things. So right now, if you're having an issue and you're not holding your feet to the fire, but you want to, and you want help with that, first ask yourself, do you have one of these three things? Do you have a step-by-step strategy? Not a grab bag of more information, not more articles, not more, gosh forbid, Ellie, I'm going to say it, self-help books, right? She wrote one. I helped her put it together. But even though it's an amazing, amazing book, 99.9% of the people who get it don't change their lives, right?
They're not making the changes because they really need the second thing.
Right. So even if you have, you need to have a solid proven system to get over that wall and eliminate your stressful struggles with burnout and the side effects like anxiety and fatigue. So if you've got that, do you have peak performance coaching, right? Do you have someone who will guide you every step of the way out of the emotional hell that you're dealing with and into the success, fulfillment, and happiness that you want? And then on the accountable part, right? This is what really helps. And this is what really helped us. Is like, do you have world-class support? When you feel like quitting and that black cloud just won't go away, and you've got frustration and anger and resentment and fear in there and all the stuff that goes along with that. And you're like, oh, well, I guess I'm going to go to doctor's care and get Prozac. That's not how to fix this. That's not world-class support. That's a coping mechanism. And it's costing you, one, it's costing you money. It's costing you ambition and motivation. And it's costing you life. It's costing you your time. Do you have a team to pick you up when you fall down and actually get you to the finish line? And Ellie, if they don't have those, what can they do?
Yeah, if you don't have those, then we want to encourage you to book a call with us. You can go to movethinksmile.com/talk. And we're happy to jump on a free phone call with you. It lasts usually about 45 minutes. And we're really just going to dive in and see if we can, help bridge the gap from where you are now to where you want to be. And we're going to just really figure out, what is really causing all of this burnout, because usually it's not what you think it is. And to, what you really want for your life moving forward. How can you start to feel alive and have the amazing adventures that you want? Because we know that a lot of people we work with, it's like they had amazing things going on in their life, and then they hit this like hiccup point where shit just fell apart. And then now they know they want to get back to that space where they were, because they know how incredible they can be. They know how incredible life can be. And so we're really there to help you figure that out. And, if we feel like we're a good fit to work together, we'll let you know. And if not, that's okay too.
Yeah, we call these breakthrough sessions, and they're absolutely life-changing for a lot of people. It's probably the best 45 minutes you spend on your life. There is no cost. It's more than just a consultation call, right? We really get crystal clear on what's causing the anxiety, the fatigue, and the stress in your life, right? We develop a clear game plan to get out of that, and then what it is that you really want to get to. Are there sports, hobbies, and activities that you once did that you just stopped doing and would love to do again? Or do you have some things? Or do you not even know? Do you not even know what your goals are? And can we help you uncover what your true north is and what your true passion is to get back into just being excited and feeling alive again?
Yeah, absolutely. All right, guys. Well, we've really enjoyed being here with you today. We really hope that you got a lot out of what we covered. I know there was a lot of stuff in there. There's a lot of details in there. But again, we are wanting the best for you. We want to see you guys really succeed and excel. We know where you've been. If you're struggling with burnout and anxiety and fatigue, we've been there. We know how to conquer it. We know how to move forward and really start having fun again. And that's what we want for you guys. So if you have any questions, like Adam said, feel free to private message us if you'd like, or make comments here in the post, or you can book that call with us at movethinksmile.com/talk.
Right. And we only accept a certain amount of calls. So if this is something you're interested in, like I said, if the strategies aren't working for you, if stress management isn't working, if exercising isn't working, if the meditations aren't working, if positive thinking isn't working, if the medications and the therapy aren't working, if the stress eating, the drinking, and whatever else you might be doing in there to, your cup of pain relief, if that's not working and you're still having problems and you're still suffering from anxiety and fatigue and you want to turn that into something great, please book a call. movethinksmile.com/talk, and we will talk to you soon.
Bye, guys.